talking to, watching, whatever. I can fill you in on a little bit. I wouldn't want you to watch it if you didn't feel comfortable with someone being gay, which I am. But it all started back when I was a little baby. And that's the truth. Even though I was born into a quite religious family, and there was no one there to talk to, no one there to turn to. Everybody wanted you to be what they perceived you should be. And so I was caught up in this thing of trying to please them, but at the same time trying to be who I was. It didn't work out so well. I even got married to try and prove that this was what I was supposed to do. You know, this is the next step in life. And it wasn't at all. First love was this guy that I knew was gay. And that's probably the only reason that I would approach him. It's because I knew that he was definitely gay. So I went over to his house and I asked him for a date. And he did, and it was the most beautiful date that I've ever been on in my life. And he actually, I didn't know this at the time, he was just a beautiful man, but he actually did drag too. And not that it mattered, but I just thought I would throw that in there for people that have any problems with people doing drag. It's so dumb. But anyway, it was the most beautiful thing, and I've often looked back and tried to think if I could find someone like that ever again. Because it wasn't such at that time that we were near each other that we could make a life, and I certainly wasn't in a frame of mind that I could have done anything to structure my life in a way that I wanted it to be structured. It was then that I started going to college after I got out of the military, and my parents even offered to. I was using the military benefits to help pay for my college, and they pay for school and everything, but it wouldn't pay for the housing and food and all that. My parents offered to pay for it if I would go to Liberty Baptist, which is a college that denounces homosexuality, because at that time I had told them. And I decided then for sure that I no longer wanted them to pay anything for me, and I wanted to live on my own. And so I moved away, started going to college in Greensboro, North Carolina, paid for an apartment, like $200 a month, rat infested, sewage breaking all the time. And I went to school at night, and I got a full-time job to start paying for things. But it was still that thing. I wanted them to love me for being who I was, but they could never get there. But it didn't keep me from not trying. But I don't know what that has to do with me being a pack rat and fixing this hole here. But I just got off on a side story. So I may do that from time to time to tell you little bits and pieces, because that's just the way I am. And if I probably keep talking, I'm not going to get these boxes torn down. So I'm going to cut off the video, and I'm going to start tearing these boxes down. That was a job. Next time I'll learn, whenever I get a box, when I open up something, just throw it away immediately. Well, I did find out that on this patch that I need to do, it looks like when they took the control box and moved it up into the attic, they just wired these things and connected the wires, and they're all connected back in there. So what I'm going to do is probably cut this out some more and put those wires back behind there and patch. Just the patch will be bigger, but it'll be seamless. And but I've got to get some mud to do that. So I think this will be the end of it for right now.